Hello friends, this is Durga again from IT Varsity. As part of this video, I will be covering Amazon Elastic MapReduce, how to access all the URLs that will be provided uh, by Amazon EMR when the cluster is provisioned. So I am using the same. As I have demonstrated how to provision Amazon EMR cluster as part of the previous video. I will be cloning the same video now to demonstrate how to do it. So to clone, you just have to select. So the purpose of cloning is once you have the initial run, if you want to run it with the same configuration again and again at regular intervals, then you can actually use the concept of clone. I will be showing here using the web interface. Whatever we are seeing in web interface can be done using command line interface also using AWS EMR command line, which I will be covering later. For now, by using web interface, you can select the cluster like this, click on clone, and it will ask would you like to include steps. I will cover what the steps is in a moment. If you want to include the steps, you can say yes and click clone, and then click on create cluster. Okay, so it will take a few minutes to start the cluster. So if there are steps already configured to run this cluster, those steps will be highlighted like this. I'll be covering what is the purpose of step and all those things as part of the next video, and also we will see how we can implement the complete workflow as part of the next video. So the cluster is started, and if you look at this link, it will give all the web interfaces hosted on the cluster details. This is the resource manager web interface. This is the name node web interface. Beyond that, there are other web interfaces also, like Hue and many more. I thought it will show here. Yeah, you can actually click on this learn more link, and you can see let me Google it. You can just Google Amazon EMR web interfaces. So this is the link. So these are the things which will be there depending upon the tools you have selected while setting up the cluster. In our case, we have used core Hadoop, so it will come with the HDFS name node, resource manager name node, Hue web application, and it also comes with the ganglia to monitor the cluster. And so for ganglia, this is the IP address you need to use. For Hue, this is the URL. Sorry, for ganglia, this is the URL you need to use. It is http:// the public DNS name of the master. In this case, we have only one master, and the public DNS is this one, EC2 54.221.68.184, and then /ganglia will go to the ganglia interface. Anyway, first let us validate whether these URLs are working or not. You can click on this to go to name node web interface, but if you see, it is hanging. The reason it is hanging is there are the ports are blocked using something called security groups. How to monitor the security groups? When the cluster is up and running, on the right side you have the security and access for the cluster, and there you can see the security groups. Security group is nothing but a firewall, logical firewall in Amazon, any service, not only just EMR but any service. So these security groups will open only certain ports to certain IP addresses. You can open this one because we have to use master public DNS for name node web interface and many others. So we will see what all opened for the master in the master security group. You can click on inbound, and as part of the inbound you can see that the TCP IP ports from 0 to 65,535, which means all TCP, is opened only for this source. And if you click on this source, if you go to this security group by this is so what does that mean is, wherever this security group is used, only for those servers the ports are open. In this case, all the masters are part of this security group, all the slaves are part of this security group. So only the IP addresses which are part of these two security groups are eligible to communicate with the cluster. Others are not eligible. If you look at SSH, I can SSH to this cluster as I have demonstrated as part of my previous video. Again, I will show you. So you can take this public DNS. This is called as public DNS. Go to terminal and you can say SSH. Give the path of your PEM file. In this case, this is my PEM file. And then Hadoop is the username, and this is the public IP. And when I hit enter, it will log you into the cluster. The reason you will be able to log into the cluster is because SSH is opened for everyone in the cluster. See this 0000/0 means it is opened up for everyone in the cluster. So to address the issue of opening the services like name node web interface, resource manager web interface, Hue web interface, all those things can be achieved by granting access to not only the servers which are part of these security groups, but also by adding additional line by saying all TCP, and then let me add new one. You can click on add rule, and here you can say all TCP, and here you can use anywhere or my IP to, so that you can connect to the cluster using the browser. You can connect to the services on the cluster using the browser. But I have demonstrated this as part of my previous video also, so I will not be demonstrating that as part of this video. Instead, I will be demonstrating using something called SSH Tunneling and Foxy Proxy. The details are already covered extensively as part of my YouTube channel. There is a playlist called Amazon Web Services, and that has videos related to setting up tunneling and Foxy Proxy. Typically in production cluster, you will have a Bastion server. The concept of Bastion is also explained here. So using Bastion server, you will be tunneling through the cluster. In this case, our master node itself, we can use it as a Bastion node, and we can navigate through not only this master server but also the rest of the slaves in the cluster, means the web services that are running on the rest of the slaves in the cluster. So the way, once you have the Foxy proxy set up in the browser, for that purpose I will be using Chrome, because only in Chrome I have the Foxy proxy set up. And to use the Foxy proxy, you also have to do SSH tunneling. The way you do SSH tunneling is by using SSH -i, the path of our PEM file. Once you give the path of your PEM file, you have to use -N D, and 8157 is the port number. So this is the port number which you can use to tunnel through the cluster. Remember, in the TCP rules, I have not added anywhere to the TCP rules for the security group of the master, but I am using this feature called SSH tunneling by using, instead of connecting to the cluster using plain SSH, I am adding another control argument called -N D. 8157 is the port number through which you can tunnel in Amazon, any Amazon services such as EMR, and then the rest of the stuff is same. You have to give the username at the rate of IP address, and once you hit enter, it will hang. As long as it is hanging, you can tunnel through tunnel into the cluster using to access the web services running in the cluster on any node in the cluster, not only just the master node. On all the nodes the master node have the access to, you can tunnel through using this feature. Now you have to go to the Chrome, you have to enable the public IP, you have to enable the Foxy proxy. So I have covered how to set up Foxy proxy as part of my Amazon Web Services playlist. Go through it and make sure that you have set up Foxy proxy. Once you have set up the Foxy proxy, you have to enable whenever you want to use SSH tunneling. If you are not doing SSH tunneling and if you try to access anything in the browser, it will not work. And then go to this. So this has failed earlier. To open the name node web interface, I am copying the URL and pasting it here and hit enter. Now you got the name node web interface. So we are using SSH tunneling to access the name node web interface. As we have the SSH access to the cluster, we are able to do SSH tunneling and access the web services that are running on the cluster. We are done with the name node web interface. Similarly, you can also access Hue also if you want. So I'm going to EMR again. So this is the new cluster. These are all done. Okay, the links are gone, but if you know the port number, you will be able to access it. So let us go to this, and if you want to access ganglia, it is http:// your public DNS name and ganglia. So I'm going to Chrome, and here remove the port number. I think it is running on HTTP. Ganglia is running on HTTP, and hit /ganglia. Okay, I think HTTP is not enabled. So what you can do is you can go to this one and in the security group, yeah. So HTTP is not enabled to anyone. So what we have to do is edit, add rule, HTTP, my PSG master save. Okay, it is saved. Let me try. Still it is not working. Probably ganglia might not be running on this. Let me validate whether there is ganglia in this. So it has hive, pig and hue. It does not have ganglia. That's why it is not working. Anyway, as ganglia is not working, now let us see how to access resource manager and hue. So for resource manager, the port number is 9026. Let me try. I'm not sure whether it will work because 9026. Yeah, it is not the correct one. So let me. I'm not sure why this UL and this is disabled. Enable web connection. So here you can see that it is providing details about enabling the web connection by setting a Foxy proxy. You can follow those instructions also. But how to get this URLs? My cluster. Because these port numbers are incorrect. So another way, okay, these are old ones. That's why it is not showing the right port numbers. So here are the details. Actually, in the latest version of Amazon EMR, they have changed the port numbers. So this link is not correct. Where is it? This link and these port numbers are not correct. So this is there is another URL which gives the differences between the earlier versions and the latest version of EMR. And here the port number is the port number for resource manager is 8088, and for Hue, if you want to access, it's 8888. Earlier it is 9026. We tried with 9026 and it failed. So this gives the complete list of the valid port numbers. And now if you go to the Chrome and instead of 9026 for resource manager, if you give 8088, it will take you to the resource manager web interface. And here you can see finished to see if there are any finished jobs. It seems there are no finished jobs. You can also click on fail to see if there are any failed jobs. So you can access the resource manager, and you can actually run some MapReduce jobs and see if it is successful or not. I will run a simple MapReduce job. So I am logging into the cluster, and now I am running Hadoop distcp command from my S3 bucket, which is on nyseit/input/raw data to user Hadoop raw data, and hit enter. So now it is running. If you see there is a job that is running, you can actually give this URL, make sure the SSH tunneling is running here. So still it is hung, so it should be running. Now I'm going to Chrome, and actually you can see whether the job is running here and access the job from here. If you click on application master, it will take you to the actual logs. See, it is running. You can click on the job and the job is still running. You can monitor the job. If you see, now the IP address is IP minus 10.146.48.136. Whenever the IP address starts with IP like this, it is called as private DNS. If it starts with EC2, then it is called as public DNS. To access this private DNS, you have to do SSH tunneling, otherwise you will not be able to access. So now you can actually monitor the job even by using the private URLs which are using private DNSs. So if you use SSH tunneling, you don't need to open up any ports as part of the security groups or anything. You just do SSH tunneling and start accessing all the URLs, whether it is resource manager UI or name node UI or any other service that you have started as part of the cluster. And also you can access the job logs by even by using private even by using the URLs which uses private IPs internally. Okay, so now you can actually monitor the log like this, logs of the corresponding task also like this, and see if it is successful or failure. Here, in this case, it is succeeded. Okay, so that's how you can access you can troubleshoot your jobs by navigating through the logs using the web interfaces if you do SSH tunneling as I have demonstrated in this video. Now I will also demonstrate the Hue. Hue runs on port number, sorry, let me get the IP address here. Port number 8888. So resource manager 8088, name node 50070, and Hue it is 8888. Now you are getting into the Hue account. For the first time, it will ask you for the username and password. You can give the username and password whatever you want. In this case, let me give it as admin, and 8-character password. Create account. And your Hue account is you are logged into the Hue account. From here, if you are familiar with Hue, you can use this one to run the Hive queries, to create the Hive tables, and all those things, to run the pig scripts, etc. So on top you can see that it supports Hive, pig, and also job designer, which is related to Woozy. And also you can click on file browser to access and manage HDFS. Actually, when it comes to Amazon EMR Hue, you can also manage S3, not just HDFS. When it comes to Cloudera or any other distribution Hue, you will not see this S3 URL like this. So in this case, if I want to access my S3 bucket from Hue itself, I can click on this S3 and it will take me to my S3 in a moment. You can see that I have 3 S3 buckets in my account, as I have demonstrated in earlier video as well. And also you can click on file browser, and instead of S3, if you want to go to HDFS, there is the link to go to HDFS. Yeah, again you have to click on the file browser. Okay, I just have to click on home, I think, to go to the regular window. If you click on S3, it will take you to S3. If you click on home, it will take you to the HDFS, and here you can navigate through your HDFS user space for a given user. As we have logged in as admin, you will be able to access only admin. For the other user, you have to log in as an other user, or you have to grant the necessary permissions to the other user folders or user spaces. So this is how you can access Hue. You can upload data also by clicking on upload, etc. I will be covering Hue in a separate video. In this video, we have seen how to access all the web interfaces using a very important concept called SSH Tunneling, which not only facilitates us to access the web interfaces such as name node, resource manager, and Hue, but also how we can monitor the running jobs or completed jobs by using private IP addresses which you typically will not have access to. The magic here is SSH tunneling. Once you have SSH access to a node in the cluster, any node in the cluster, using the concept of SSH tunneling, you can access any web service that is running on any of the node in the cluster just by using SSH-i-ND8157 as a port number to tunnel, and also Foxy proxy as I have shown here. That being said, I hope you are enjoying the content on my channel. If you like this video, please click on the like button. If you have any technical questions or want to provide any feedback, please use the comment section of the video. And if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. You will get to see a lot more content like this. As part of the next video, I will show you how to automate the process of doing all the prerequisites as part of our setting up the cluster, and then how you can leverage the cluster and store the results back into the S3 bucket so that you can have the results whenever you need them. So a complete workflow will be demonstrated as part of the next video. That being said, thank you. Bye.